Hello, today I will be demonstrating using one Var Stats in your calculator. Now you may have an 84 plus or an 83 plus, or maybe you have an 84 without the math print or the 83 with math print, right? You might have a mixture of different calculators, but I'm going to demonstrate with two different calculators so that you know what to do depending on the calculator that you have. So what I'm first going to do is, well, I'll turn it on. And you can see right here where it says MP, I have math print on. Okay, so then I'm going to go to stat, edit, and I'll put my data in list 1. So we have days absent for students and the frequency that's occurred over a semester. So we have 0, 1, and then all the way through to 5. And then in list 2, we will put the frequencies. So put 9, 12, 8, 4, 1, and 2. So I put my data in. I will always double check and look back and forth to make sure my numbers match up nicely. And then I did the same thing in this calculator, put stat edit, and it's the same steps there. So I already pre-did that for us. Okay, next, I'm going to hit second mode to quit out of both of these, so second mode, and then you need to go to the stat button, right to calculate, and you'll see one var stats. So I'll hit stat, go over to calculate, one var stats. Now when I hit enter on the 83 calculator, it'll go one var stats, then it's blinking. On the 84 calculator, it's going to bring a menu up. So I'll do the 84 first. We did put the X list in list 1, so that's okay. Then it asks for frequency list. Frequency is asking for that list 2 that we did. So to get list 2, we hit second 2, and then you have list 2. And then I'll hit enter on calculate, and it'll run everything for me. It'll do all the work. Now with the 83, you actually have to remember a little bit more. You have to hit second 1 to get list 1, and then you have to tell it comma, which is right above 7, and then you have to type second 2. So you tell it list 1, list 2 is where my data is at, and then you'll see it matches up directly. If you do not put list 1 comma list 2, it'll mess it all up. So you see if I hit stat and calculate and I go to 1 and I just hit enter, you see it got an average of 2.5 for X bar. That doesn't make sense. So you have to go stat, over to calculate, enter. You have to tell it second 1, list 1, comma, second 2, list 2, because we have a frequency table. So this is for a frequency table. So if we want, we could list the mean, right? X bar is 1.5. Okay. Now the population variance is our question. To get the population variance, we are looking for sigma squared. Well, right now you can see on your calculator there's a sigma x. Sigma is the population standard deviation. To get the variance, we have to square the population standard deviation. And I'll show you how to do that. So right here we have 1.3437 and then a bunch of decimal places. What we want to do is make sure we keep all those decimal places. So what I'm going to do is go to the vars menu, and when I hit vars, which is right next to clear, you can see vars, on number 5 there's something called statistics. So I can arrow down and hit enter on 5, or what you could do is just hit the 5 button. And then you have the list of all the things that just were calculated. So what I'm going to do is go down to number 4. Number 4 is sigma x. But what I need to do is square this. So I'll hit the squared button and I'll hit enter. So our variance, our population variance specifically, is 1.806 if I round to 3 decimal places. Okay? But I want to make sure that I took all of those decimal places, right? So you see if I hit sigma x If I hit enter on it, it's 1.3437, blah, 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 blah. Now watch this. If you rounded too early and then I hit squared on like 1.34, notice the answers are not the same. You must not do that. So make sure, I'm going to just delete that. Make sure that you keep all the decimal places. So that's why I went to vars and then number 5. Then I picked number 4 and I squared it with the squared button, and then I hit enter. And you get all the decimal places that you need. So make sure don't cut off the decimal places too early. Okay, let's do another example. Okay, so here's a new data set. So what I need to do is clear out the data set in my calculator. So I'll go stat, I'll go to edit. Now to delete it, you hit up, clear, enter. So go back over, up, clear, enter. Okay, so stat, I'll go to edit. Make sure you do up, clear, enter. Now what happens if you accidentally went up and then you hit delete? Look, list 1 disappeared. To get that back, you need to hit the stat button, go to number 5, and then hit enter on setup editor. This will refresh it. So if I go back to stat and edit, list 1 came back. So remember, go up, clear, enter, and it'll get rid of it. So now let's put my data in. So I have 45 and so on. So now that I have all my data in, we can see that we do not have a frequency table. We only have a list of data and we placed it in list 1. And we put it in identically in both versions of the calculator, whether you have MathPrint or you do not have MathPrint. So now I will quit out of these, or I could just hit the stat button. So go to the stat button, and then I want to find the sample variance. So if I want the sample variance, this in this case will be s squared. So little s squared. So I'll go over to calculate. I'll pick 1 var stats, and now I just tell it second 1 in the 83 because I'm only in list 1. Okay, then I hit enter and it'll calculate it. And you can see that x bar, the average x bar was 31, and that looks to make sense on that given data set. So I'm happy there. Now watch, I go over here, I go calculate, hit number 1, and then be careful. You see frequency list? Now we need to clear that out because we do not have a frequency table. We only put the data in list 1. Now you could have put the data in like list 5 or list 7, but why would we do that? Just keep it in order, put it in the first list, and then I can hit calculate, and then we have the same exact thing. If you accidentally told it to do, if you accidentally told it list 2 here, and you forgot to change it, it'll give you an error because we emptied list 2, remember? So we have to be careful. So stat, calculate, 1 var stats, list 1, clear out the frequency, and then I have that. Now, for sample, we need to look at SX. So you can see that there's 12.32882801. And we want to keep all those decimal places so that when we square it, we get the proper rounding. So in order to keep that, remember we need to go to the vars button, go to number 5, so I can just hit number 5, and then now you would need to go to 3. So you get the sample standard deviation. Okay, so right here, little s, this is the sample standard deviation. So when I hit the squared button, which is right above the log button, I will get 152. It actually makes a really nice number, surprisingly. So let's try that over here. On the 83, it's the same thing. You hit the vars button, go to number 5, go number 3. You can hit the squared button, hit enter, you get 152. Now, what happens if you accidentally didn't keep all the rounding? Well, if you only put 12.3288, and then you squared that, you'll get close, but it won't be quite the number that you wanted, 151.999. So it will round to 152, but you want to be careful and keep all the decimal places that you possibly can to get the better answer. Thank you for watching.